I'm Beth Sterman, and I am a comedian, a speaker. I've won a bunch of awards for comedy writing in the US. And in the business world, I work in presentation skills and leadership communication, and I do it from a comedian's perspective to show people how to communicate with clarity and impact. I see people use humor wrong. I don't like using the word wrong, but in a way that is less effective. When we use humor, to me, as a comedian, humor is a tool, and it's a tool for connection. And so people hear, oh, you should start with a joke, loosen up the room. And that's great, but what's really you're trying to do is you're trying to establish connection quickly. So if you start with something that's just a joke that feels shoehorned in, it doesn't feel authentic to you or organic to the material, it's going to land flat, and it's actually diminishing returns. It's going to make connection harder. But what I try to teach people is that the secret of comedy is that truth is funny. You don't need jokes. So rather than trying to add jokes, add truth. It's relatable. It gets you the same result and in a much more effective way. Well, I firmly believe that you can't convert until you connect. Until you get someone to listen, it doesn't matter how good the message is. And as comedians, we know that better than anybody, right? If we don't connect pretty much immediately with our audiences, nothing else we do works. So the faster we can create that connection. And emotion is a fast track to that connection. If you are able to make other people feel emotion, they are invested in you. And it gives your words impact. And most importantly, it makes things memorable. It literally, from a neuroscience point of view, emotional memory is stored in a different place than just your average memory. So the more emotion you can dial up, and that emotion can be joy, right? My specialty is humor. It doesn't have to be tears, but the more emotion you can layer in to your talk, the more impactful it will be, and therefore the more memorable it will be. Leaders don't use emotion as a tool, and the result of that is they come across as robotic, and robotic is uncaring. So if people don't feel like you care about them, then they're not going to engage. And if you look at the Gallup polls or any of the workplace research that's being done right now, engagement is incredibly low. It's because people don't think that the company or the leadership has any stake in them at all. And all it needs is a bit of humanity, a bit of people feeling as if someone understands them. They feel seen and heard and understood. And it's a tiny thing, and it makes a massive, massive difference. It's great to feel confident and polished, but if you're able to add an emotional component, to be aware of that emotional component, that means that you are aware of how your words are coming across to your audience. It means you're putting your audience first. It means you always have them in mind. And so it's one thing, it's wonderful if you are confident and well rehearsed, but that won't land if people feel as if you're just talking at them. It can be much less polished, and if people feel like you are having a dialogue with them, they're going to take away a whole lot more from that. If you can make them feel seen and heard and understood, that's much more important than polish. I always try to get people to emphasize connection over perfection. I find that the easiest thing for people to apply is to acknowledge the elephant in the room. It's very distracting when something has happened or something's going on and the speaker is just not acknowledging it at all. And if people in their minds are thinking, really, we're not going to mention that? Or someone just fell down, or a whole tray of glasses, or there's a truck outside, or it's 175 degrees in the room, or the CEO just got walked down the hallway escorted by security. If people are sitting there thinking, what just happened? If that's what their internal monologue is saying, you know what voice they're not listening to? Yours. So think about what the elephant in the room is when you start presenting. And think of it when you're in the process of creating that presentation. What might people be thinking?